But this time I want to show you how the way got Paul in trouble. Um, because Paul thought that he was doing the thing that was right, but he was actually persecuting his own people and going against the very thing that he said he believed in. Acts 9, I'll start there. Acts 9 and 1, but Shaul breathing out threats and murder against the disciples of Yahushua, having come to the high priest, verse 2, asking from him letters to the congregation of Damascus, so that if he had found anyone who were of the way, there's that word again I asked you to pay attention to, whether man or woman, to bring them bound to Jerusalem. Verse 3, and it came to pass that as he journeyed and came near to Damascus, suddenly there flashed a light around about him from the heaven. Verse 4, and he fell to the ground and heard a voice saying to him, Shaul, Shaul, or Paul, why do you persecute me? Why are you persecuting my people who, who's following my ways? My laws, my statutes, commandments. Verse 5, and he said unto him, who are you, Adonai? And Yahushua said unto him, I am Yahushua whom you persecute. It is hard for you to kick against the pricks. So this is the encounter on the road to Damascus where the Messiah met Paul to correct Paul because Paul was in the wrong for persecuting his own people for keeping the laws, the statutes and commandments, the things that was passed down from generation to generation that Moses was taught to teach to the children of Israel in Deuteronomy 6 and 7, which if I can get there, it says, Deuteronomy 6 and 7, and you shall impress them being the law, statutes, and commandments upon the children, and you shall speak to them when they sit in the house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up again. So Paul was persecuting his own people for keeping what the Most High gave to his own people for the way that they should live according to the word of the Most High. So this is where you see Paul over in Acts 24 and 14. He confessed this himself about himself, and he says, and I confess to you according to the way which they call a sect or heresies. So I worship the God of my fathers, believing all that has been written in the Torah and of the prophets. So Paul had to be corrected and redirected about the way. Peace to everybody in the chat. Paul had to be redirected and corrected by the Messiah himself because Paul was in the wrong about persecuting his own people by keeping what was called the way of life, the way of direction. Just like if you have children, if you are a loving, caring parent, not only to your own children, but about other people, you train your children in the way that they should go. That's what Proverbs 22 and 5, I believe, is talking about. Train up your child in the way that they should go, and when they get older, they don't depart from it. So it starts at home. That is what you see them talking about in Deuteronomy 6 and 7. This is how you train your children, how they're to act when they're at home, when they're in public, when they're around the other people. Okay. Luke 21, I'm gonna show you this last scripture, and I'm gonna get off it real quick. I just wanted to show you this is what Paul got. This is why Paul got in trouble. But I want to show you what it said about Elizabeth and Zachariah, which is John the Baptist's parents. Luke 21 Luke chapter 1 verse 5 and 6. There was in the days of Herod the sovereign of Judah a certain priest named Zachariah, of the division of Abiah, and his wife of the daughter of Aaron, and her name was Elizabeth. Verse 6. And they were both righteous, both before Elohim, blameless, walking in all the commandments and righteous of the Messiah, of the Most High. So the scripture is pointing out the fact that Zachariah and his wife Elizabeth, John the Baptist's parents, was living righteous. They was living by the laws, the statutes and commandments, which is called the way. So I hope you guys can receive this. I just wanted to point out and show you people keeping the way that they was taught by their ancestors, that was passed down from generation to generation. This is the very thing that Paul was persecuting them and taking them bound to Jerusalem, because they was keeping the very thing that they was taught to keep and given by the Most High. Peace and blessings to all. I hope y'all can receive this.